Why can't women
inappropriate.
have sex-based rights around our bodies? Why can't women have the right to say
No
no?
one said you can't.
But why? That's what we're asking for. That's what my whole.
What does that translate to in terms of practices and policy?
It means women-only spaces for adult human
Well, that's
females.
that's what that locker room is now.
Well, why was
There
he in
wasn't
there?
oversight apparently because his charges were those 2 kids.
Right,
And he
so-
was
but
supposed to stay with them.
So if Julie was genuinely concerned and heard a man's voice, isn't it her right to express those concerns?
Wasn't there another staff person in the locker room?
Not until after I expressed my concern.
Katie Daviscourt reporting for Rebel News. It's here at the YMCA in Port Townsend, Washington, where 80-year-old Julie Jaman was banned from the local swimming pool after speaking out against the biological male in the women's restroom. Now, when Julie went to express those concerns to staff, instead of listening to those concerns, they charged her with discrimination and banned her from the swimming pool after 30 years. Standing her ground, Julie is determined to fight for women's rights. If you'd like to support Julie, please go to letherswim.com and sign the petition. If we get enough signatures, I will drop the petition off at the YMCA in support of Julie.
You have made national headlines after expressing concerns about a trans male in the locker room. Tell us about that.
Well, as I said, I'm a regular swimmer, and I finished my swim and went to take a shower, and I heard a man's voice. And I looked to one side where there are 2 toilet stalls with doors on them. A man was standing there in a woman's bathing suit, and he was watching little girls take their suits down in order to use the toilet. And I said to him, "Do you have a penis?" And he said, "That's none of your business." And I said, "You need to get out of here right now." A Y staffer came from maybe the staff room around in her red t-shirt, and I said, "Get that man out of here." And she said, without skipping a beat, "That's discrimination. You're out of the pool forever, and I've called the cops."
Yes, I'm a reporter.
Hi, great. We have a
How are you guys doing?
manager that I can direct you to.
Is she here?
I will direct you to this, and then you can reach out to her with any questions that you have.
Thanks. How are you guys doing?
We're doing good, but I'm afraid we're not taking interviews in person at this time.
You're not?
Yes.
How do you feel about the issue?
I'm gonna have to ask you to leave.
Yeah.
Thank you, and have a great day.
You too. So would you say that the gender identity movement is going too far?
No, I think the Y and the city are going too far. That is, they have failed to provide good staff training for this very sensitive cultural issue. They failed to provide an alternative space, which the law calls for. So there's no choice in here.
Wow.
They have failed to inform patrons and parents, and all round, along with these made-up stories, there's a major breakdown going on. So it may be that transgender people, and I want to just say this, I am here because I am concerned about the needs of female humans to have the right to privacy and safety. And that's all female humans, everybody. Transgender, gay, bi, straight, everybody. We have a right to that privacy and safety. And that's my basic issue. And I believe getting there are the things I just laid out. Good training, good signage, and alternative facilities for people that need them. I first sent a long letter to the city council, and then I showed up and I was called on. And I briefly noted to them that they already knew the story. I'd sent it to them. It turns out they probably knew a lot more of what was going on even than I did at that point. Nevertheless, I gave my points of what I hoped the council would do, and finished, and the whole room broke out in clapping. I turned around. This room was filled with people. I'm here because I had an experience that you need to know. I have sent it to you all in detail. In an effort by the city and the YMCA to apply the neocultural gender rules at Mountain View Pool, dressing shower room facilities, women and children are being put at risk. My experience while showering after my swim was hearing a man's voice in the women's dressing area and seeing a man in a women's swimsuit watching little girls pull down their bathing suits in order to use the toilets in the dressing room. I reacted by telling him to leave, and the consequence is that I have been banned from the pool. There is no signage informing women the shower room is now all gender and what that means, nor have parents been informed of what they can expect with these new policies. The Y has not provided any dressing shower room options for women who do not want to be exposed to men who identify as women. It is unconscionable that the YMCA would instigate these new policies without clearly informing pool patrons and parents. Although in 2021, the Y reported that they were adding family and all gender dressing and bathing areas, they've not done that. So the comments went on from both sides for about an hour. Finally finished, and then the mayor spoke and basically lectured the community about bigotry and homophobia and all those words, and it will not be tolerated, and he won't tolerate it, and so on and so forth.
That man is Mayor David Faber, and it was recently revealed that he has a history of controversial posts about bestiality and supporting a man convicted of child pornography.
At the end of that meeting, not one counselor suggested even that we may have an issue here. Maybe we need to invite some intelligent and wise people from the community to come to a table. Let's review our policies. Let's be sure we're getting good training for everybody. This is a really sensitive issue. Nothing.
Wow.
You know, you did ask me, I want to go back.
It's really disturbing that you've made such a big ruckus out of this, and the right-wing press has picked it all up and carried the ball with it and made Port Townsend look like some sort of a right-wing place or something. It's horrible.
I know, I agree.
Why do you think that men should be in the women's locker room?
The man is a trans person. He's an employee of the Y. He was following the policy of the Y that you don't leave children alone, and you don't, that there's 3 people at all times. That's their rule. And he didn't belong in the locker room in the sense that there should have been another place for him to change. And the very, very next day, there was, okay? So the management handled it in a brilliant way. They did the simple solution that they needed to make.
Why shouldn't Julie be allowed to swim?
Because she made a big ruckus and she insulted this man who was an employee.
How was she to know that he was something other than
Why did
just
she
a
ask him
man?
if he had a penis?
Because she heard a man and she saw a man in the locker room. What was she supposed to do if she thinks she sees a man in the locker room?
She should have gone out to the management, wrapped around with her towel wrapped around, or gone and changed into her own clothing. That's what I would have done.
You think you stepped out of the shower naked in front of this guy?
You didn't have a towel with you?
I was in the shower naked.
You change in the locker room. You change in the changing stalls all the time. That's what I've seen as your habit. And so, what I mean, you think? No, I've seen you swimming here for years, and I know.
Did you see me raise a ruckus over those years?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. But your email, which was forwarded to me, I thought was totally
Why can't women
Inappropriate.
have sex-based rights around our bodies? Why can't women have the right to say
No
no?
one said you can't.
But why? That's what we're asking for. That's what my whole.
What does that translate to in terms of practices and policy?
It means women-only spaces for adult human
Well, that's
females.
that's what that locker room is now.
Well, why was
There
he
wasn't
there?
oversight apparently because his charges were those 2 kids.
Right,
And he
so-
was
but
supposed to stay with them.
So if Julie was genuinely concerned and heard a man's voice, isn't it her right to express those concerns?
Wasn't there another staff person in the locker room?
Not until after I expressed my concern.
You guys held a rally at the park. What did they show support for you, or what happened?
Well, this was a permitted event, and I was invited by Amy to come and speak at this event about what happened to me. So when I arrived, I could see lined up along the city hall side of the street, hundreds of people, all decked, all the rainbow trans stuff, just quite amazing. If anybody had wanted to go to council meeting that evening or make a comment, they couldn't have gotten in. They were all blocked. It was all going to be transgender everything. So this crowd started up a cacophony. It was ear-splitting for like 45 minutes. It appeared to me that there was a certain amount of coordination going on in all this chaos. I don't know, but I could see to one side, there were people dressed in black. They had black masks on.
Antifa?
I don't know. I was told later by a policeman that some of them had weapons.
Wow.
They had mace and clubs and possibly guns. I don't know. I just saw what I saw. I, on the microphone, said to people, please, somebody go get the police. Right over there.
Yeah.
So people went over there and they were told by, I believe, by Chief Olson, we're following a directive. And if you don't feel safe, you should leave.
So I'm here with,
Amy Souza.
and what's your platform?
So I am Known Heretic on Twitter. I also have a YouTube channel under the same name, and I've been a women's rights activist and campaigner for really the last 3-4 years about this exact issue that we're talking about today.
Right, and so you've been back and forth with the mayor on Twitter. You expressed concerns, and what was his response?
Yeah, I asked him, did he think that women deserve boundaries around our bodies? His response to me was zippity boop. So
Unbelievable.
Quite a juvenile response, but you know, more than just being juvenile, it was incredibly disrespectful.
Absolutely.
You know, I am a constituent of his. I have legitimate concerns about my safety, about safeguarding for all women, about safeguarding for children. And this is how he responds as the mayor of the town to a concerned citizen.
After your event, it's very easy to find footage of you guys being really brutally assaulted. And the mayor expressed support for the people assaulting you. How did that make you feel?
We're in surreal times, I can assure you. This is very strange, very disturbing. And I would say at times it's very disheartening. On the other hand, I can tell you that from all over this country, even beyond the boundaries of this country, I have received incredible amount of support. And I want to say thank you. Thank you, everybody. It's just amazing the amount of support that has come to me and to people who are recognizing this issue and working towards some kind of resolution. So I can be disheartened, but on the other hand, I am watching humans who understand what we've known for several thousand years, that women and children need a certain amount of safety and protection. And it appears that the Y is taking directive from big main parts of their corporation. They're a very wealthy nonprofit, and
Yeah.
I don't know what I will say their woke ideology is about or who's pushing it, but it does feel as if it's being pushed forward.
Now, the YMCA sent Julie an email stating that she has been permanently banned from the facilities over hate and discrimination. If you'd like to help Julie, go to letherswim.com and sign the petition. If it gets enough signatures, Rebel News will hand deliver it to the YMCA. If you'd like to support Julie's efforts in fighting for women's rights, go to letherswim.com, sign the petition. And if you'd like to support Rebel News USA, go to rebelnewsusa.com, subscribe and donate. We are 100% crowdfunded by the people. Thank you.